Hi there, welcome back to SaveWithCrypto. My name is SaveWithCrypto. SaveWithCrypto is also the home of Quadzilla, our amazing indicator that we've made. And I just want to talk about some stuff to do with Quadzilla because there was a few things that happened yesterday with the FOMC talks and also the market generally, where Quadzilla has been just brilliant. Now, I was going to make a video sort of discussing all that, but then Maff beat me to it and he posted it in the SaveWithCrypto Discord, which, by the way, you can join by going to savewithcrypto.org/Discord. And over in the Discord, you'll see videos like the one I'm going to show you. In fact, I'm going to show you two. The first one is about kind of what happened yesterday and what's happening today. And the second one is more of a macro look at what we think might happen to Bitcoin in the next few weeks. So let's take a look at the first one.
Bitcoin dropped to 108 amid the initial uncertainty after the Trump-Xi Jinping trade talks were concluded. The price did recover when people noticed that it was actually good news. Oh, wait, what? Good news? What's going on? But for us, if I add Quadzilla here just briefly, we can see that this meant that the retracement level at 108.7 was closed. So step 2, of course, closed initially with this drop down. So we had the up, down, and then it was actually a very quick reversal then. The price came back up immediately to complete step 3. I've extended the retracement line out here with this dashed ray, with this ray, as these prices do tend to remain relevant. It's kind of a price magnet. And this really is an edge that you just won't see in any other indicator, by the way. So just switching that off just for a second. The levels I've drawn in are the key price pivots and liquidity zones. In effect, they create ranges where the price tends to bounce around very much here within those and there within that, and so on. We're currently at the bottom of this range, and in fact threatening to drop below it from the looks of things. So with 110.2 here up to this liquidity area at around 111. Actually, where's that one? Yeah, at around 111, and then 112 above that. I really hope that we're going to see a bounce here. It's just not looking... It's looking like there's a real struggle going on here. It's been at that level for quite a while this morning, slightly bouncing away and then coming back down to it. On the lower time frame, I'd imagine that's probably looking a bit messy. Just lots of little bounces along there. But yeah, hopefully we'll see a bounce there, because it has interacted with this line, even on the 1 hour here, just several times, obviously at the start. Wicks down below it there, bounced off it as support there. And then there was also this point where it briefly dropped below on the China trade misunderstanding. Quick recovery though, which suggests that there ought to be some upside potential today. Once the US is back online, it's the usual thing, isn't it? Once the US is back online, maybe what's happening here, this kind of very much sign of weakness here, we hope we get just turned into upside for the rest of the day. And then I'd imagine some interaction with it within this liquidity area. But we'll see. Switching this back on again. Also just worth noting actually that if it does drop down, could see a similar ranging within here, potentially down to this retracement level. Worst case, I think we'll be down to this 107, 108. It is kind of funny that the 108 just got retraced to again, because we just can't seem to get away from there. Also worth noting, actually, that here back on Monday at 7 a.m, Quadzilla actually highlighted that drop was going to happen with a super down signal, and that was really significant. These super ups and super downs seem particularly effective, I've noticed, on the 1 hour. When they light up, then it's definitely worth paying attention to that. In this case, of course, it called virtually all of this, so that there was this, the price did wick back up here momentarily, but essentially this called just kind of all of that. What we've got now is, as long as this price can stay up, then this massive drop down overnight, in effect, it gives us kind of a base to work from, so we can hopefully see a series of higher lows, so just kind of an upward trend. That would be the best case, I think. So we'll see, and I think that's about it. Cheers.
And about 9 or 10 hours later on, the price of Bitcoin has come down rather a lot, actually. Now, I'm actually expecting here on the 1 hour time frame, we might actually get a super up indicator like what we got here, because if you look back here, you can see what happened is the convergence band got really, really thin and went super low, and then we got the super up to there. That was about there. Now, we did actually get a second green background here, although that's slightly less intense than that first one, around about 106. So I wonder if we're going to get one of those in the next few hours. But for now, let's just have a look at Maff's second video that he did yesterday. And this one's talking about the more macro outlook for Bitcoin. and what might happen in the next few weeks or even months.
So this is a slightly, very longer term outlook than I tend to do in these TA updates. So I've zoomed out to the monthly on here just to have a look at the 3-year bull cycle, 3-year bull market for Bitcoin. So overall, just from the bottom there, which is January 23, up to the current latest high during this month. Hasn't really been Uptober, is it? It's just Strange-tober. So yeah, that went up to the high of like 126, whatever. I mean, at the moment, it's looking more like damp Squib-tober. It peaked briefly towards the upside to become a bullish candle, but now it's just kind of like huddled back down again, back into an overall down for the month. It needs to get back up above the open of 114.042 in order to be a bullish month. So there is kind of a question of, is it going to matter, really? Is it going to matter? Because there's one school of thought, which is that if the month continues bullishly, if it becomes bullish, then that's going to signal a strong remainder of Q4, and up we go. Because, of course, a lot of analysts and investors and so on, the sort of the smart money people, which really just means that the big money people, they tend to look at the monthly outlook as the barometer of the market strength, rather than like the daily or whatever, just so they factor out all of the noise. And so that they would be looking at a bearish close for the month as a very strong bad signal, a bearish signal, really, that could mark the end, and then that they're not going to be necessarily pumping money into Bitcoin investments as a result. So it's one of those things that this could become a bit of a self-fulfilling signal if the month does close down. So there's that school of thought that could just mark a weakening Q4, and oh dear, the rest of things are going to be a bit sort of sideways until we eventually just down into the bear market. So the other school of thought is that if this does happen, maybe it's just a healthy correction. This is kind of like the coiled spring ready for a super bullish end of the year. What I did want to look at this, of course... actually, the other thing is that, of course, if this does manage to close above 114, ideally above 115, because that really is a significant resistance level. You can kind of see it there. Should I draw it in? Yeah, may as well. That level there, get down a bit even. In fact, it probably is at 115.8, really. Bitcoin needs to not just break above, but kind of smash above. The next level of resistance above that would be 120, which it would also ideally need to get above. Just for Bitcoin to finish the month convincingly strongly, that keeps the narrative bullish, or rather switches it less from a cautious bullishness to, here we go, this is it, let's go guys. We're going to need to see some absolute just god candles each day during the rest of this week. So essentially, in terms of these levels then, just interesting with the Fib retracement, because that 102, 103 level, 0.786, comes up as rather significant. For this month, we've already touched down to exactly that level, which is kind of uncanny. Below that, if we did kind of drop down, I mean, it's just interesting to kind of see how well the Fibs play out, really. If you drop down to this level, you can kind of see that there's order volume around here for the entire month of March, pretty much. So if you drop down to there, that would be just a shame. If we drop down to 85 too early. I was going to say that could well form a point of resistance. I would certainly hope so if price dropped down to there and bounced away. It depends what stage that's happening at, of course. But once we're in bear market territory, you might well see a drop there, and then it stays there for a little while before dropping down further. And then in this range, we'd see a drop down to the halfway point, the 0.5, which again is kind of significant. That was very much at this sort of 70k mark a line of resistance when the price was just trying and failing to sort of get above that for quite some time, quite an extended period of time, just the old sideways Bitcoin territory. Then obviously if we go below that, it's kind of game over, I think, generally. But here again, just the marked order volume that we see, and that does play out at the 0.236 Fib level as well. Interesting times. What is also notable is that Quadzilla is very much signalling that the market appears to be rather tired and overbought at the moment. So maybe this has been kind of a healthy pullback. It's brought back the stochastic momentum oscillator kind of back down. It's drawn back down below overbought a bit. If things suddenly ramp up and head skywards, this might just hit 100%, and then we'll just see a straight line for a long time. Its face will be flattened against the ceiling, essentially. So that'd be kind of nice, while the price, meanwhile, is just heading up. That's my dream.
Okay, so it is actually about 12 hours now since Maff's first video. And Bitcoin is just about starting to show some signs of life here. We've now got some green backgrounds on the 1 hour time frame. We did have two, one's just disappeared. I'm so hoping we get a super up here. The time is now coming up to 9 p.m. on Thursday, the 30th of October. So I'm going to look at this in an hour or so and see if we get that super up. I'm still not confident, but it is looking a little bit better than it was earlier. Okay, so it's past 9 p.m. now. The second green background did reappear. Not got the super up yet, but what we do have a nice green candle there following that smaller red one. So that is a bullish engulfing candle, which is a bullish sign. So maybe math stream might come true. Either way, we're going to be talking about this tomorrow lunchtime at midday UTC. So please do come along to the live stream. I'll leave a link for it in the description down below. Meanwhile, if you've enjoyed this, then please do give the video a great big fat like. I'd love to see more people in the Discord, so please come along, savewithcrypto.org/Discord, and yeah, let's see you over there. To get notified of our timely updates, please do make sure you are subscribed and you got the notifications set on all. Any questions, leave them in the comments down below, and above all, tell your friends.